All right, good morning, family. I want to just share with you a scripture for your inspirational vitamin for today on Friday, July the 3rd. This comes from Psalm 18. And I just want to read this scripture because it really encourages me, and I hope it encourages you as well, as to how God has taken care of us, how much God has met our needs and loved us, lavished us with his love, and how much he has been there for us, period. Since we've lived our lives for him, before we lived our lives for him, he has always taken care of us. And so I just want to read this scripture, and please just meditate on this and just think about how God has done this for you personally in your life. I'm going to read Psalm 18, and it's going to start off in verse 1. And just meditate on this. It says, I love you, Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call to the Lord, who is worthy of praise, and I have been saved from my enemies. The cords of death entangled me. The torrents of destruction overwhelmed me. The cords of the grave coiled around me. The snares of death confronted me. In my distress, I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple, he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. The earth trembled and quaked, and the foundations of the mountains shook. They trembled because he was angry. Smoke rose from his nostrils, consuming fire came from his mouth, burning coals blazed out of it. He parted the heavens and came down. Dark clouds were under his feet. He mounted the cherubim and flew. He soared on the wings of the wind. He made darkness his covering, his canopy around him, the dark rain clouds of the sky. Out of the brightness of his presence, clouds advanced with hailstones and bolts of lightning. The Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded. He shot his arrows and scattered the enemy. With great bolts of lightning, he routed them. The valleys of the sea were exposed, and the foundations of the earth lay bare at your rebuke, Lord, at the blast of breath from your nostrils. He reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemy, from my foes who were too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my disaster, but the Lord was my support. He brought me out into a spacious place. He rescued me because he delighted in me. God delights in you today and every day. When I read this scripture, I think about a hero. I think about someone who saves. And that's the type of God that we worship and that we serve. He is here to save us. He is here to free us, to liberate us, to love us. He cares about us so much that he's willing to swoop down and take us out of those deep waters. It's an amazing thing. But think about that all day today, all this weekend. I love y'all.